Incompetence Pod.
Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Bear witness as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We'll have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned the victor. Hi, I'm true believer and poetic soul Mike Collins, the introspective detective.
Hello, I'm Master Yogi, Master of Wind, the Songsmith, the busiest beaver, Yumpin' Yodeler Dan Collins, the tanky planker.
And I'm the human popsicle, Mr. Sunshine, Future Corpse, and synergistic mystic, Travis Greenicus Brabin, the silver tongue. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt in the next 2 weeks. After we have all presented, we'll decide whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first? I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've covered some of the classic art forms. We have made music. We have made poetry. We've yodeled.
The classic.
I think that it's time for us to get visual. I think in the next 2 weeks we should see who can make the most interesting self-portrait.
I like that.
Understanding that this is an audible medium, we would have to describe them and post pictures of our final products, but I think that there could be some value in developing visual creative skills, of which I currently possess zero. I am bad at art. Visual art, I am bad at. I don't know what looks good. I have trouble matching my clothes even, so I'm suggesting this challenge with the full knowledge that I will almost certainly be terrible at it.
I have a question, or I have a it's kind of an add-on to this. Since this is, it's a visual medium, or this is not a visual medium, this is an audio medium.
Yes,
we're
correct.
on a podcast, right? All right, we're all on board.
Yep, we agree.
Can we have an aside, or maybe a sub title for the person that can best describe the art?
Ooh, I like that.
Okay.
It'd be like a 2-part episode, so the best artist, and then the best art critic, that can describe it in the
in the most erudite and highfalutin way.
But also the most accurate, so that our listeners can understand on a deep level, both visually, but spiritually
And emotionally, yeah.
emotionally, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So anyway,
I don't hate that, honestly.
I like that. I do like
So
that.
I think we've done a couple genuine life improving things in the last couple of challenges. So I figured let's do kind of a fun one.
Being good
While
at
also
visual
doing
art
something-
is a life improvement.
I would
It
agree.
is. I am not good at it. I can kind of do some things sometimes.
I think at one point in my
Art.
life, I could paint a little bit and I could draw pretty good, but I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah. I drew a picture of a bird in high school once that I was pretty proud of. Yep.
Good job.
Thank you.
Sight unseen. I'm just
remember-
assuming it was good.
I remember I was a pretty good artist in middle school, high school, and because I was pretty good, the art teacher expected more from me, so I would have to impress her to get a good grade. And I remember, you guys know Calvin.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember because he sat next to me in that class. I remember this one time he 5 minutes before class, he drew this stupid bird that was this an elementary, a little kid could have drawn this thing. And he got a C on it. And I put time and effort into this scene with this hitchhiker by a lonesome road. And I got a D or something. And I was so mad at Calvin because he drew this stupid bird with crayon.
See, you just don't understand that he was pursuing minimalism. You just didn't get it, Dan.
I did, and it didn't even look like a bird.
Did he use his hand as the outline?
Calvin's a jerk, and we all know it.
That's
Anyways,
true. Does he listen to this?
yeah, he does.
No.
Now he knows. Ah, you knew that already.
Yeah, he did. I yelled at him, I think.
Yeah, my only elementary experience with art. Well, I mean, I did the art class or whatever, but I at one point tried to, for a weekly assignment, I tried to draw Spider-Man. I like had a reference thing, like a picture of Spider-Man, and if you don't know what Spider-Man looks like, he has like webs on his suit, and
Yep.
there's like a million lines of like webs, all over his suit. So I was very quickly like, I have made a serious mistake because there's like tons and tons of tiny little lines and like the curvature of whatever Spider-Man is doing in the picture kind of dictates which way the line should go. And like for somebody who's bad at art, it was just a terrible decision. And like after that, I turned it in and I was like, never again. Art is not for me.
I'm gonna blow your mind right now, Travis. Everything is a bunch of little lines.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Think about it.
Hey, yeah. All right, let's this is I feel like there's a deep well of conversation here. Should we move on or do you guys want to keep digging?
Yeah, no. Let's keep it moving.
All right. I like that, Travis. That's a good one. I'm gonna go now. Today I was checking out. I was grabbing some things from the local drugstore. And I was checking out, and the guy behind the counter, he was tattooed, had a lot of tattoos on his arms, and he saw my tattoo that I have on my forearm, which of course is a 1980 or 1992 Ford Aerostar minivan with magic sparkles coming out the back of it.
Hmm.
And he's like, "That's a sweet tattoo," and I was like, "Thanks, man." And we chatted. I was like, this guy's a cool guy. And then I paid and I left. But I feel like I have a lot of acquaintances or like small chats like that with people, but I don't have that many friends. And I think what we should do for our challenge is to make the most new friends. Yeah.
Okay.
So like go out of your way, be like meet somebody, and you don't necessarily have to like hang out with them or like take a vacation together, but somebody that you next time you see them, you're like, "Hey dude, how's it going? How's that thing that we talked about that one time?" or whatever, What's our
Sure.
our you remember our mutual topic from last time? And you guys both chuckle at each other. Mondays, right? And then, whatever. So anyway, I think this would be very good for me. I listened to this is another great course. I really like those on Audible. By the way, if you guys haven't checked those out, you should everyone should get into them. It's like the people, like the top people in their field talking about whatever their thing that they know everything about. Yeah. Anyway, it's great. It's like a lecture series. I suppose that's not for everybody, but for nerds like me, A plus. Anyway,
Get him to
I listened to
sponsor our
this one.
podcast.
We should
Yeah.
stop getting them free advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
jeez.
too late. But anyway, so I was listening to this one. I think it was called like Your Best Brain or something like that, and it was talking about one of the key things that will like show or predict your longevity, like how long you're going to live, is how social you are. People that remain social well into their the the they're old
Their
when they're
twilight
old.
years.
That's what I was trying to find, and it was not coming to my brain. Yes, their twilight years. Those people tend to live forever, and I think that's from my experience, that's kind of true. We have some of our grandparents are quite old, but I know they still are quite social, or they are from time to time. Whereas I've known other people that are not social at all. They just stay in their houses and they end up dying quite young. So,
Sure.
uh,
That's
anecdotally,
that,
it makes sense to me.
well, that's a part
So,
of there's like the Japanese concept of ikigai, which is like,
mhm.
finding your own path or like, having purpose for your life. But a portion of that is like they measured there's a certain village in Japan that, or like Japan typically has, I think, some of the longest lived people.
Do they?
And some of that they suspect is they stay social, they also keep working later into their life, and they just have like stronger social connections. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah. Well, it's like scientifically proven. I mean, the numbers show it is true. But anyway, friends, we should make some.
How would you like determine if somebody is a friend rather than an acquaintance?
I think it might just be like,
Who
we
can
can
make
kind
the
of
most acquaintances? Or like you
e-
get their phone number?
Yeah, see, my thing is like I think I would focus. I don't know. Personally, I am more of the like, better fewer friends rather than the large numbers thing. But then again, like you can't have a really good friend unless you start out with like a new friend, right?
That's
You're never gonna
true.
have more friends than you have right now if you don't try to make some more.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was thinking, so me and Travis have recently gotten into Magic the Gathering, which is,
Yeah,
it's
which
pretty
is
sweet.
awesome.
Dan is very excited about this.
Yes.
But anyway, so we were at the local game store, and there's some deep dweebery going on there in the best way. My kind of people. So I was like, if you started going to like these magic get-togethers, Friday Night Magic, which is a thing apparently, you could probably meet some kind of interesting, cool people. And I think, that might be a good place to start. But, just meeting new friends and making friends, it's also a skill, that you have to do, being social and like seeking out other humans. And that's something that I do not do, you know,
Yeah,
most of the time. So I'm not excited about doing this one, but I feel like I should. So.
I think there's like a benefit that we haven't talked about yet that this would probably accomplish is that like I think we've all met people that like you meet them once and then like a year later you meet them again and they remember your name and like what your parents do for a living. Like there are people that like just do a really good job of like remembering you and like making it very clear that like that they didn't immediately delete you from their brain after they like walked away. That's something that
Yeah.
I wish I was better at.
Yeah. Yes. I
So I
agree.
think we could probably do some improvement there for sure. All right, Dan, what do you got?
So we all know the apocalypse is soon coming, whether it be nuclear or a meteor or anything. It's all very very soon coming to us, and we need to be prepared. And
Go on.
that's that's my challenge is be prepared for the apocalypse. I believe there's a term called prepper. And I would like to see which of us can become the most prepared for the oncoming apocalypse.
Okay.
This would include safety, bomb shelter, if you got it, develop a new skill such as surviving in the woods, a go bag. There's about a million different things.
Sure.
I think this is a very, very important thing, clearly, as we all know, the world will very soon end. And I think what could be a better improvement than ensuring that you and your loved ones will survive through the apocalypse?
I will say, uh, we have frequently established that, this apocalypse idea, but even short of that, this challenge would have merit in that, like, there are quite often, social or natural disasters or like the stuff that happened in Texas a couple years ago where like people were just like frozen in their homes. It's not impossible that things will happen in our regular, like real life, where you might have need for some of these skills and these prepared rations or a plan. So it's not wasted effort, I don't think. Like the prepper thing has a bad connotation, but there is genuine, I think, life value there.
Yeah, I think most of the bad like connotations or like the images that pop into mind are the kind of you picture the people that will buy like a battle hatchet that has you know a shovel and a compass and a fire starter and a noose and stuff in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like so squirrel traps attached.
Yeah.
There's legitimate value in being able to
Well, we
be
we
ready
don't
for things.
maybe a better way to present this is maybe not the apocalypse, but emergency prep. If all your power went out, what would you do? If your house caught fire, what would you do? If suddenly there were all the farms where locusts ate all the food, what would you do?
I think there's value there.
Yeah.
All right, let's hash it out. Which one do you guys want to do?
All right. I will say I like both of your guys is better than mine. I think honestly, it's
Yours seems like it would be the most difficult thing we've ever done,
I
which is
think
a
it would be.
really sad thing to say out loud,
Yeah.
actually.
I mean, I know I don't think like any of us really suffer with like the debilitating like social anxiety that I know is prevalent these days, but like at the same time, like I like my bubble. I keep it close.
I mean, you'd have to kind of put yourself in the like third graders mindset where, "Hi, you want to be my friend?" You know?
You know,
Yeah.
while I was in college, I had kind of I watched some YouTube videos. I got in a Y hole late one night, and it was about like there's a bunch of YouTube like channels out there devoted to like self confidence and meeting people and impressing people. That kind of stuff. How to be charismatic and I had watched one, and for like the next 2 weeks, I was like the most charismatic I've ever been in my life. And I think I was like going around the college because like there's all these people there that I had more or less completely ignored because I was like an old guy in college, a mature student. So like I had just kind of shrugged off everybody who was less than 24 years old or so. But anyway, so like I was trying to making friends, and it was just delightful. And then like for the rest of the time there, I stopped doing that because it was taking a lot of effort and also mind power that I needed to do math with. But like for the rest of the time I was in college, because I was kind of near the beginning, and then I'd bump into these people that I had only talked to because I was being a weirdo and be like, like, hey, whatever. And I had these acquaintances that kind of liked me for the next 4 years, which was kind of nice, I guess. So
Yeah.
there's there's a way to do it.
Yeah. So we're shooting for a kind of nice, I guess.
All right. So, well, that's mine, but we don't have to do that one. I kind of really like Travis's, I guess, with my addendum to it there.
I will say I like the idea of doing Dan's, but when I think of, I don't know if this isn't necessarily the case, but when I think about emergency preparations, that inevitably leads to spending money.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
That I did consider that. Yeah.
Like there's certainly value in having a plan and stuff, but like there are some things that you just can't like like even like making like a water purification system requires like sand or like charcoal and stuff like everything requires other materials which you know you could maybe make yourself, but I don't know. That one carries a financial cost, I think.
It yeah, it does. That would be my only beef with it. It could be, All right, never mind. I was gonna say we could say who could do the cheapest prep. You can make your own, bargain bomb shelter in the backyard or whatever out of
Sure.
cardboard. But I don't, and I'm gonna say no to that one.
I'm honestly I'm I like all of them. Honestly, I don't know which one I like the best. I think they're all pretty good.
That's not helpful, Dan.
Yeah. If I couldn't choose mine and had to choose one of your two, I I would rather spend money and not have to do the friends thing, but I would still probably choose Mike's in the interest of not having to spend money at this particular juncture.
Yeah, if I wasn't picking mine, I would pick Travis's over yours, Dan.
I think I would pick Mike's. I think I'll pick Mike's over all of them. Actually, I think that's the best one. It is weird though doing it for a podcast.
Yeah, there's that ulterior motive.
You know, I was just
that's
thinking
okay
like,
though. I think that's a good icebreaker. Like, hey, I'm doing a podcast and I need to make some friends. Will you be my friend? I'd talk to somebody that came up to me with that. You know?
sure, all right.
Oh, dang it, Dan. I was
God
really
damn.
hoping you'd say
Yeah,
mine.
I was also hoping that. That's
Well,
okay.
I mean, okay.
We have voted. You said it.
It's done.
I'm just gonna give you a caveat here because I do have things that I have coming up in the next 2 weeks that might give me a slight advantage on this.
Okay.
Strategery.
So I mean, I'll say that now, but I'm into it.
Okay.
I
All
don't
right.
know if you want
Well,
to give me a handicap or not. If you're
that's
okay.
perfectly fair.
No, that's fine. There's a potential here where I would I'll try and like build up confidence to go talk to some people, and it's just not going to happen. So there's a potential of that happening. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, metric. Should it literally just be like the highest number of acquaintances that we meet and are friendly? Basically, people that we would look forward to seeing again.
Well, so what about people that you currently know but you become more friendly with?
Maybe
No,
I'm
maybe
thinking
I don't think.
specifically of like,
I think new people. I think it has to
it's
be
gotta be people that you don't know the name of. You maybe have
yes.
said hi to them, but like you haven't had a conversation with them.
So what's the like when we say? Well, I think also like the value of friendship is important, but that's kind of a weird thing to measure, isn't it?
let's put monetary value on it.
This person is worth $5 to me tops.
You seem like a $20 friend. Hi.
I found $1 million friend. Wow.
Oh, that's kind of a nice thing to say,
Yeah,
though.
that is that. You can lead with that. You seem like
Yeah.
$1 million friend.
I can I push back on like what I had in mind was like, inviting coworkers, like turning coworkers into friends. Does that count, or are we doing purely like random strangers that we've never met before?
Well, okay, I think random strangers might be pushing it too much. Like, it could be like the person you met at a place that you run into all the time and you haven't talked with them except for whatever interaction you're doing, you know?
Yeah, I think yeah, like I think we know what we mean. Somebody just yeah, if it's somebody that you've interacted with a lot, but like you get coffee or something, you
Yeah,
know.
you do something that's not, it's not within the safety of the work bubble,
Yeah.
or like it's like somebody that you bump into because they work at the store and you kind of have a nice conversation, but you're not like, hey, you want to go hang out sometime,
Or
or
like
like, hey,
how's your family?
yeah, what's your hobbies, whatever. Yeah, somebody, if you can elevate people, you can elevate them to the lofty.
So are we saying no coworkers?
No, I think coworkers are fine if they go from coworker to your friend that you work with.
Like if you quit, would you still talk to them?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's a high mark though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is hard.
This is a little bit of a weird one, but I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the honorific?
What's a friendly thing?
Or like the friend finder or something like that.
The the friend magnet.
Okay.
Just do like a Mr. Congeniality.
Mr. Congeniality. Yeah.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers is actually not bad at all because he's all about making friends and neighbors.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah.
I think we need to stay away from like proper nouns or like I think it's a proper noun, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Just like it would be weird to like have an episode like, "Hi, I'm Mr. Rogers." Like, okay.
Well, how about this? Your best friend.
Your best. Ooh, I like that. Just
I'm your best friend, Dan.
your best friend, Master Yogi. That's actually, I quite like that. Your best friend. the best
Or
friend.
like, what about new best friend?
I'm your new best friend. I like that too.
That's
I
cute.
kind of hate it, but it is okay. I more hate this whole thing. So, like, historically, that has been like, that an indicator of fertile improvement growth. But
That's
boy,
true.
am I not excited for it.
How about Friendicus?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's
historic.
good.
That was quite good. Yeah.
The brominator, ya boy.
Nope. Nope. Not that one.
Your boy. It's your boy, Mike.
I still like your new best friend.
I like
Yeah,
it.
I like that one a
Should we
lot.
just say it's your new best friend?
Yeah,
That's it. That's one.
I like
It's
that.
gotta be that one. Your new best friend. Okay. So let's see. Okay, let's talk forecast. I think Dan is going to cream me and Travis into the
I
Yeah.
honestly, I feel pretty good about this. If I like, I normally am just like you seem cool, but I don't really. But if I put my mind to it, I think I'm really good at making friends.
Oh, here's actually let me put something to you guys. Can me and Travis tag team friends? Because we work together and it's much easier to break
Oh,
the ice with people. I think that's
oh,
no, you know what? I'm gonna say that's 100% legal because they got to be your friend too. You know?
yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's fine.
okay.
I'm saying it's fine. I made the decision.
You guys gonna team up against me on this?
Yes.
I don't even
I
care. I don't even care.
I Okay, I was gonna say, I'm not sure I was fully like behind that notion, but I'm not against it, I guess.
I mean, okay, but you guys are also competing against each other. Like you guys are together more than I'm with you. So if you guys make the same friends, it's fine. But
But then we'll need to stab each other in the back in order
yes,
to actually win.
It'd be
yeah,
like,
We'll need to lose a friend in order to
Travis
gain
there,
5 more.
he's a liar. He lies about things. By the way,
it's
I'm
like, yeah,
like, I
come
like your
hey,
shirt.
come hang out with us. Like we're gonna have a barbecue, but don't talk to Travis. He's
He said your shoes are dumb. Okay.
He didn't say it, but he gave me a look, you know.
Said it with his eyes.
All right. Well, anyway, I think Dan is really going to do well. I think Travis might actually do better than me, and I'll just be Mr. Lonely in my cubicle. Okay. So we have our challenge, we have our metric, we have our honorific. Let's do this.
Hey, it's me, Dan. Just wanted to take this little pause here to say thanks for listening. And make sure to tell your friends all about this. And maybe make some new friends and then tell them about the podcast. It helps us out a little bit. And I just was wondering if would you like to be my friend? Really? Aw, that's awesome. All right, well, talk to you later, buddy.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then, we've been trying to do the most terrifying thing imaginable, trying to make new friends as an adult. Let's discuss our initial thoughts, and then we'll figure out who is the friendliest. Who wants to go first?
I mean, I want to go first. I just want to get into what I did.
All right, let's get right into it.
So I think I mentioned in the first part that I had a couple things that were gonna maybe give me a slight advantage that I had planned beforehand, just so you know, I didn't do it for the podcast. Well, first of all, I had two rock and roll shows in the last 2 weeks. Where you go out and you meet many people and they all want to talk to you after your show. I would like to point out the number one, well, not the number one, but a standout friend that I made. His name is Neil. He's from the band Trash Can. He's a fellow drummer, and we hung out and we talked pretty much all night. It was a Wednesday night. We talked about drums and playing gigs, and we liked each other's music, so we got each other's contact information, and we'll probably be playing shows in the future together
Cool.
again.
Like
Um,
dual drummers.
well, no, I mean just like his band and my band.
Oh,
Um,
oh. I thought
but
something new, something cool was being created here.
yeah, I mean, the whole band was pretty fun. The other two dudes were kind of intoxicated, so it was a little bit hard to really make a friendship connection. But me and Neil, we definitely made a connection. And then I had another show just on Friday, and I talked to a lot of people. A lot of my already friends were there, and it, you know, you kind of when you're trying to make new friends, you kind of appreciate how easy it is to already have friends. You don't have to like
Yeah.
put a lot of effort into. But so I don't know. I guess I didn't really make any. It's hard to say that I made any actual friends um, at that show. I mean, I
Sure.
talked to the sound guy for a while. He was pretty cool. He was also in a band, and we were talking about playing gigs. And he said that we should start doing covers instead of original music. But I
Kind
don't.
of a not so nice way of saying your music's not very good.
It's
Well,
like your music's good, it's just not good enough. You should do somebody
You guys are
else's music.
talented. Yeah. You guys are talented, just not creative.
the venue invited us back in January, so give
The
us
primo gigging time.
give us a couple 3 months, and yeah. But anyway, but the number one thing that happened, um, I met somebody, you guys,
Oh.
and she's definitely becoming um, one of my very best friends, if not my best friend. We've been
Did you
literally hanging out every single day this week. She's already moved in with me.
Old.
She's actually here right now, sitting next to me.
You got a dog, didn't you?
I'm gonna say this is cheating.
Hey, she's a really good girl. She's so cute.
Yeah.
You got a doggy.
I got
We
a
didn't
puppy.
we didn't specify human friends, so that was
We
kind of
did not.
Dogs
a
are
gap.
man's best friend,
We
and
100% did not.
I have a puppy, and her name is Cheesecake, and she's precious, and she's chewing on a bone right next to me. That's why I
Nice.
wanted to go first, because I was worried she'd bark or something. Except the thing is, she doesn't really bark unless there's another dog around. But
Are you sure
Yeah.
it's a dog?
I'm pretty sure it's a dog. God, I hope it's
Hamster
a
or
dog.
something?
Yeah. So I got a dog. I got a
Oh, that's
dog.
cool.
I've had her since Friday last week. I told everybody except you two that I got a dog.
I will say, like, we'll see who wins, but we didn't specify human friendship, and
You sure
like
didn't?
dogs are a fountain of endless friendship and happiness.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty
Well,
strong play.
it's like I've heard, if you really want to experience, unconditional love, get a dog,
Yeah.
Right.
So, uh, well, good for you, Dan. It sounds like you made some friends and you purchased a friend. Good for you.
Went to the store and picked up a friend. Wouldn't it be nice if it was that easy? Well, I guess it kind of is. You just-
It
Yeah.
can be, I
Yeah.
guess.
It can be.
Okay. Travis, do you want to go? I'll go. I can go.
Whatever. I'll go.
Okay.
Here I go. This is, I think, other than the part about buying a dog, I think my experience is somewhat similar to yours, Stan. In that I tried a couple different things to, put myself out there and like interact with people, but I think the end result here is that it's just the prospect of like making a friend is it's very hard to do overall, and it's nearly impossible to do within the confines of 2 weeks. Like, so I'll go through. Here are the things that I did. Here's what I tried to do. So I had a wedding. Well, the weekend of when we recorded the last episode. But after that, I reconnected with a friend that we had kind of drifted apart over the years. So, set up and we played video games or whatever together, which does not count as forming a new friend. I understand that, but like this is just things that I did to rekindle friendship. Holly and I, we went to like a church event, just like families, kids playing and stuff like that. And I didn't initiate conversation, but while in the bathroom, a gentleman named Keith struck up a conversation with me, and that's about it. We exchanged names, and then that's it.
Bathroom friend.
Yeah,
Bathroom friend.
I was under the impression that like I think it's from Scrubs that there is no talking in the men's room. He broke that rule, but now I know his name at least. So.
I mean, if nothing else, to steer clear. He's one of those
Yeah.
bathroom talkers.
Yeah, that's true. Can't be trusted with those guys.
Or maybe they're the most trustworthy. It's a lot of directions that can go.
Yeah, certainly the most trusting.
There you go.
When I was in the Peace Corps in Indonesia, like I stood out like a sore thumb, and you get a lot of people that are really excited to meet you, and you just are like, yeah, they want to take your picture and stuff because you're tall and white, But
You glow in the daylight.
yeah, but this one guy, I was at a bus station and I was in a crowded bathroom, and he took the stall next to me, and he started talking to me really like just aggressively, and then like he wanted to shake my hand before either of us washed our hands. And then he ended up on the same bus that I was on, and I don't think that was where he wanted to go because I think he just wanted to keep talking to me, and it was really
Jeez.
upsetting. So you got to be careful with those bathroom friends.
All right, I'll steer clear of Keith.
Okay.
You've sufficiently warned me. Other things
That's
I
not
did.
fair. He might be a great guy.
Yeah, he's probably
He
a nice
probably is.
guy.
He's probably great. So last Friday there was so Dan got us into trying out Magic the Gathering. And a pretty big pillar of that game is Friday Night Magic, where people meet up at their local game store and play Magic together. I figured what better way to meet people who play the same game or are interested in the same things. So I went to that. I built we're very new to this game, so I only have some of the cards. I built a humble deck, and I went to play with these guys, and they were very nice. And obviously they had been doing that game for a very long time. And I got absolutely destroyed, which was expected. It was fun, but it was like those guys and I were not even playing the same game. I was just like, I summon a 3/2 bear, and then they're like, I summon 6 elder dragons that destroy everything. So it was just, yeah, it was fun, but gameplay wise, left something to be desired. Other than that, I scheduled a reoccurring team happy hour. This has yet to come to pass because 2 weeks, but for the next 2 years, my team will be doing a happy hour on the first Thursday of the month or whatever. So again, I think we mentioned early on, or the earlier half of this episode, that friendships with coworkers don't necessarily count. But in the spirit of the challenge, I have laid some groundwork to potentially build friendships with people that I don't know very well yet, which kind of leads into what I hinted at earlier in this rant, I guess, is that I think that it's really hard to make new friends in the modern age. And I emphasize friends because like it's pretty easy to make lots and lots of acquaintances, and you might even remember their names, but like the prospect of like making someone who you'd actually call a friend and who you might actually like text or like be like excited about doing things together with, like the differentiation between a friend and acquaintance or coworker is huge, and I don't think you can get to the friend point, or at least I can't, very quickly. That takes, I mean, a lot of time and a lot of shared activities.
I would say that the difference between an acquaintance and a friend primarily is just time. You know what I mean?
I specifically in the modern age, I think that the capacity to make new friends is somewhat diminished, and that like so often, I mean, we're a little bit different in that we are like we're doing things together right now, and we're making a game and stuff like that. But it's so easy in modern life to not do things together. Whereas, you know, in the past, like 100 years ago or whatever, you know, you only had so many people around, and you were like building barns together, or like the working, like you just did hard work together as a matter of wanting to survive or whatever. I mean, more than 100 years, but you get the point. I think that like the modernity has sort of diminished the capacity, the islanding of everybody, that nobody interacts in meaningful ways. So that has sort of diminished the capacity. Whereas in the military, Mike, you can probably agree to this. In the military, you were just assigned to a random unit with a bunch of people who you have probably very little in common with, but through the sheer act of like working and living together, you forge friendships with people who like you otherwise would never have spoken to, would never
Yeah.
have gotten along with, but you like for some reason you get along with well. And like even, you know, the wedding that I went to a couple of weeks ago was friends from the military. So, and even after years of us having, you know, we didn't change that much in the military. We haven't changed that much since. But even though we come from vastly different backgrounds, we still get along like we'd never left. So that's a pretty strong friendship, and I think it stems almost entirely just from doing things together.
Yeah. I did a little research on making friends, and apparently, one of the biggest factors in, or like one of the biggest tells that you're going to become friends with somebody is to have frequent, unplanned interactions with them. So it'd be like it could be somebody at work, you know, who you're bumping into all the time, and you end up talking with, and that kind of stuff, you know. And obviously, doing things together is beneficial. But the other kind of component about that is to be vulnerable with somebody, kind of let them in on your inner steez, whatever. So but so which kind of makes sense if you think about it, especially looking at it from like the military kind of situation, because everybody is just miserable. You're all doing the same crappy job, and so everybody's whining, and you're there when everybody's going through all these awful life things, you know.
Yeah.
And
Shared misery is generally the name of the game.
yeah, which kind of breeds that kind of vulnerability. So I think that's why guys in the military, or you know, people in the military, tend to be really tight, is because it's like it's a good place to have those kind of interactions with people.
Sure.
So going into what I did, so yeah, like I said, I watched some videos about how to make friends as an old person. I would recommend to everybody. There's this YouTube channel called Discover Connection. It's this guy. He like goes around and makes friends and like does all these weird things to do that. And it's basically he just puts himself out there is the main thing. So that's where I started. And then going forward, I would say I think I did a bad job because I don't. I mean, so one of the challenges we did before, Mr. Sunshine, we were, you know, just trying to have a cheery outlook and be positive around people, and you know, that was good. But our general takeaway from that was like it's not healthy to force that attitude. Um, so going into this one, it was similar, but I changed it slightly. And basically, I was with the interactions that I have with people, the limited ones that I do, because we've talked about this before. I don't have a social job. I have 3 kids, and you know, the only interactions I have are with you two guys. You know, people at work, and then guys at like my jujitsu gym, which is kind of new. So what I have been doing is trying to like put myself out there and actually talk to the humans around me in the few situations where I actually am able to put myself out there. So like at the jujitsu gym. And what I will say is I think that I can see results from this, just like being talkative and friendly is is much better for making friends than what my usual curmudgeon-y, crusty old war veteran motif that I put on. it's like it's definitely, it's better at collecting new friends as a rule, I would say. So I mean, I don't think I've really met anybody new besides like just acquaintances that I bumped into, but the interactions that I've been having with people have been vastly better, just because instead of being like, "Ugh," growling and putting on scary Marine Sergeant face, I been like, "Hi, friend," smile, talk. It's
What a concept.
yeah.
Yeah. Turns out not trying to be actively intimidating will help people connect with you. Well,
Indeed.
that's like it's a real thing. Like the military, we lean on this a lot, I guess. But as
Talk
is
about what you know, Travis. That's what they
that's true.
say.
Yeah, it's like stone face or the 1,000 yard stare or whatever. Like that's like beat into you that you like when you're like just standing there. You should blank face or your default angry.
Or like, actively trying to be intimidating for no reason,
Right. Yeah,
I
and it's
mean,
just like it's hard to shake that. And like
yeah.
internally I'm not like angry or whatever, but like I've been told that, I am a little bit intimidating to, approach or whatever. And like I that's
But
yeah.
you're just a big cuddly bear.
Yeah, internally. Actually, I had like interviewed for a promotion at work or whatever, and they gave me the I didn't get it, but they said that they see leadership in my future or whatever. But one of the reasons that they said that they were going to go with somebody else at the company was because I didn't give off an empathetic sort of feel that they essentially accused me of lacking empathy or at least giving off that vibe. And I'm like, hey, I don't understand how that comes across in a job interview, but I do kind of get it. And that, like, again, in the military, like, you're supposed to be just like, impenetrable and whatever. And, in the civilian world, that's not really what is desirable.
No. No. That particular skill set doesn't necessarily transfer unless you're like a security guard. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny because you guys we always compare the Peace Corps and the military because like my job in the Peace Corps was the complete opposite. I had to be hi, how you doing? Nice to see you again. It had to be like even with people that are like, unpleasant, you have to be like pleasant with. So
I mean, this conversation is getting a little tangential, but I think, there's a debate there of what kind of skill set sets you up better for your life after the associated core. You know what I mean? Which I don't think we need to get into right now, but
Yeah.
it's worth
But
considering.
yeah. But I mean, to pivot back, I think you're right on that, and that just having that demeanor. And I will say that doing this challenge, I didn't make a lot of progress. I don't have any new friends to report, but I think just again bringing an awareness to what my default state is, and I'm
Yeah.
generally like once I get into conversation, I'm like happy to engage and I like to carry on a conversation. I'm not wild about small talk, which is another shortcoming of mine. I'm genuinely envious of the people that can like so easily engage in small talk or initiate small talk. I have like real trouble with that, but I genuinely like sometimes I'll just like see people like start a conversation at random with some random person, be like, man, it looks so effortless when they do that. It's a genuine skill
It
that
is.
I
I mean,
absolutely lack.
it is. It's something that requires practice, and I think there's this assumption that people have kind of naturally that like, oh, that person's just charismatic. That's just who they are. And I
no,
mean, certainly people kind of might have an aptitude for it, but it is a skill set that
it's
you have to develop.
it's also scripted a lot of the time. Like
Yeah.
you ask a question, you know what the answer is going to be, and you know what your response is.
Yeah.
That I know this because that's my job is small talk. I have
Yeah.
to make small talk with people sometimes for up to like a half hour at a time.
Yeah.
Um, and it's all I can only do it so flawlessly because it's the same conversation that I've had with like five other people today. You know, it's
Yeah.
not
Sure.
that you're more charismatic, it's that you just have more practice saying the same thing over and over again.
There's a practice confidence with people that deal with people every day. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
like that's where the practice comes in. Like confidence, self-confidence, I think is it's a skill, you know. It's not something that you have, it's something that you develop. And it goes along with that because part of the reason that I think people are afraid of engaging with other people is that they lack they're afraid because they don't know how conversations are going to go. You know what I mean? They're afraid to even interact because they don't know what to do in the situation. Whereas that, the practice conversations, the conversations might be slightly different, but you're like, I've been here before, so
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
you can go in there like, and then all you got to do is work on smiling and laughing while you're doing it.
Cold
And
outside, huh?
yeah.
How was parking?
Oh,
Yeah.
just don't even.
Oh, man,
Yeah. See,
traffic this morning.
that stuff is what I hate though. Like I don't
Yeah,
I,
me too. I hate it. I
I don't
absolutely
lack
hate it.
I don't lack self-confidence. I just have no interest engaging in small talk.
Yeah,
If
I
I could
think
just find a way to skip past that and get to like genuinely interesting, like part of the problem for me is like I would like to find like there's questions that people recommend you ask as like icebreakers or whatever. I want to find one question that I can reliably ask people to get to something that they're actually passionate about because that's what I'd like to talk about. I don't want to talk about the weather or sports or whatever. Like I want to know like what project they're working on at home or like that's the stuff that I find way more interesting and I don't know why we waste so much time on the weather.
We were talking about this in the first half of the episode, but like I had mentioned when I had started school and I was trying to make friends, and there's a few scripted things that I watched, and I just tried it, and they legitimately worked. Like I think one of the questions was, and I don't remember if I said this before. I suppose we can cut it if it is, but whatever. But like I think one of the questions was, what is one of your passion projects? Just jump straight into it. Like, what are you working on that you're excited about right now?
Yeah.
Or, those kind of things. Like, what are you excited to do when you're done with school or work? Like, instead of like, don't even ask somebody what they do for a living because most people will talk to you about it, but they don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or
yeah.
it's so easy to get into that rote kind of memorization,
Yeah.
repetition category. The
Yeah.
thing is like I like that idea of like jumping right to the meat, but I think many people are so like timid and afraid to answer that question that they would honestly like I don't know, maybe get defensive. Like so many people are like almost afraid to answer honestly what they're passionate about.
Well,
And
I
I don't
think
really know what that
oh,
stigma is, but
Well, I was just gonna say, I think like, if you do engage somebody that way, what you gotta have on your back burner is all the weird things that we do, like podcasting and, I don't we do lots of things, but
yeah.
like like I'll tell you what I've been doing. It'd be a funny conversation like, "Hey, my name's Mike. What's your passion project? I just set up a new fish tank. I'm real excited about it." Let me talk to you about it for 15 minutes because I don't think you want to be that guy either.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
nobody wants that guy.
those are the worst types of people.
uh, yeah.
If did you guys encounter there's like an acronym that people use for like coming up with things to talk about. It's the Ford method,
Or
the
no.
family, occupation, recreation, dreams. So asking people about those sorts of things can be a good way to get to actual like genuine discussion. But like I said, occupation, I don't think that's a very good one.
No.
Because like I mean, we work at an insurance company. If you ask me what I do, I'll tell you what I do, but it's an insurance company. It's not it's not like a high
You want to
stakes.
know what my trick is? You just laugh a little bit harder when they tell a joke or say something slightly funny. You just laugh a little bit louder than would be normal, and then they think that you like them, and then people like people that like them.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah.
That's the easiest thing to do. That makes me sound like a sociopath, though,
Yeah, it
doesn't
sure
it?
does.
It sure does, psycho. But I mean,
Uh,
that's kind of the way you gotta approach it that way a little bit.
It requires a degree of like sociopathy to like. I think the people that are really good at that, like that is a tiny, tiny part of it.
I mean, as well, like we've discussed this before, like the VPs and stuff at our company. You know, they're all like these super charismatic, handsome, and lovely people, and like they can just like talk to you and like be super comfortable having this small talk conversation. It's just
Right.
like like they don't care. I just want to like I need this
some people
employee.
do. Like
Yeah.
you'll find
Uh,
those people that like remember stuff that you told them the next time you see them. They're like, "Oh,
yeah.
how's your thing?" And
I was I was listening to the Brandon Sanderson podcast, Intentionally Left Blank. It's a great one, by the way. If anybody's
Yeah.
looking for one. But and he was talking about how his wife like actively puts in effort to like remember people's names and that sort of thing. And he said he doesn't, but he can see how it pays off because people maybe like her more than him.
yeah, if you remember somebody's name, I don't know how people do that, but like
Well,
if somebody
yeah.
remembers your name when you meet them a second time, like, and you don't remember their name, they're like, "Wow, this person is like a better person than me."
Yeah,
You know?
I've been on the receiving end of that like twice, and
Yeah.
both times they said like, "Oh, hey Travis, how's it going?" Like I was like, I don't remember that." It's such a power move on their part. Like I am eternally in their debt because like they remember my name and I don't remember theirs.
Yeah. You will do
Uh,
anything for them just to prove you're not a bad person.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh yeah, man, that's I think the point of that what he had said was, she puts work into it. Like
right.
you know, it's an effort that she makes to do that. And I was like, "Oh, that's probably what it requires, isn't it?"
Yeah. These
Uh
things that come across as effortless and easy genuinely does require work, and that's just
yeah.
not a skill that I've learned to develop, nor did I learn to do in these last couple weeks.
But I will say that like I think this is a productive change if that I would like to kind of implement more. 'Cause like I was saying, like I was trying to attract flies with vinegar, as they say. I don't know why I'd want flies. I want people.
Right. Who's
flies
out there attracting flies?
flies like vinegar, though.
Well, yeah, like fruit flies do.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway, yeah. I will say
Well,
like
I
this challenge I think genuinely has been one of the most unpleasant for me.
yeah.
The prospect of like I joked about it being the most terrifying prospect at the beginning of this, but like it's harder than, slightly asphyxiating yourself by holding your breath or,
Cold,
freezing cold
cold,
water
yeah,
or
cold
whatever. Like
dunks.
physical discomfort, sure, I can do that just fine. But
Social
like this,
discomfort.
yes, is
Yeah.
hard.
Well, okay, I think really in 2 weeks you cannot make a friend. What you can do is make a strong acquaintance with plans for the future. Is probably
Yeah.
the best you're gonna get.
Or like set up the dominoes so like they
Yeah.
could become your friend, you know.
Which I did. I just wanted to say. I also bought a dog, so
Yeah. I think you're about to win based on the premise of buying an animal.
I don't know. Hey, man, me and Neil made a connection. He's from the band Trash Can. They probably have a Spotify. No, they don't. That was their first show.
All
It's a
right.
sweet
So
band name
we
though.
put
Yeah,
that is
Can I
pretty
just say
cool.
that?
I'm
Yeah, it's a
kind of
beautiful.
surprised it wasn't taken. I mean, it's probably
Well,
been taken a
I'm
dozen
sure it's
times by
taken.
bands that didn't maybe make it.
Well, I
yeah,
mean, it's hard. I mean, that was their first show.
yeah.
So I don't know if you could say that they quite made it yet.
Well, it's
Fair.
not to say they won't. I'm sure they will.
Absolutely
It'll
not.
be fine. Okay, well, should we get into closing thoughts here? Well, I mean, should we talk about who won, I suppose, first?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean Dan won.
Dan won.
I
Dan's the
I
winner.
made a best friend. And
We can't
I'm
compete
gonna be
with the.
honest, I could have done more, but when I got the dog, I sorta just focused on having a new dog.
What kind of Dan? What kind of dog is Cheesecake?
She is an American Staffordshire Terrier.
I have no idea what that is.
No.
It's kinda like she looks like a pit bull, but a little bit smaller than a pit bull.
Small. I think I've seen those before. Send a picture.
I have a million pictures. I've been sending them to everybody except for you
Well,
2.
we'll have to put one on the people like pictures of dogs, Dan. So we're gonna need to put them on
We'll
the
put it on the
feed.
podcast.
Yeah.
I'll shoot you a picture.
It'll be in the show notes, listeners, if you're curious.
Send a bunch of glamour shots. We'll just have like 20 of them.
All right, Dan, you did it.
You did it, Dan.
You did the best job. You won the game, maybe not the challenge.
Hey, I got Neil.
That's true. You probably did win the challenge too. That's fair.
Yeah.
What
It'd be weird if
what
Neil listened to this in the future. He probably will never listen to it unless we become best friends.
you'll be playing this at your best man speech for him. Here's to the happy couple.
So yeah, closing comments. What I would say is this is a terrifying prospect, but I think having put myself more out there, putting out that vulnerability, because you're vulnerable when you put yourself out there to meet people. I feel like it's paid off, as far as making closer connections to the people that choke me out every morning, and and like putting out an effort to like learn their names and stuff as opposed to just cuddling with them.
Jeez.
Okay, guys. Yeah, if you don't know what jujitsu is, I guess watch a video or something. You cuddle with people in their pajamas.
He's not
but-
doing a great job of selling it. But yeah.
I mean, that sounds nice.
Yeah,
Me and
it's great.
Cheesecake cuddled when I was in my pajamas.
Yeah, just like that. So but anyway, I think this is something that everybody should do. Like this, a lot of the stuff we'd recommend people like, yeah, it's, I think it's a good idea or whatever, but I think this is something people like need to do. Like, put yourself out there, meet humans. It's good for us. It's good for us as a human species to be with other people, especially if you're sort of an introvert. You just got to take the plunge, get into that cold water, or whatever it is, meet people. That's what I think.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
I'm going to tack right onto that with my closing thoughts, and that I agree with everything that Mike just said, and also this being bad at this challenge has illustrated to me something that I already kind of knew, that I'm bad at socializing in uncomfortable situations or whatever. So now that I'm blatantly aware of how terrible I am at this, I think I'll continue to work on it. I know that this is a gap that I need to fill. So if nothing else, this challenge has sort of shown me that I have plenty of room to make up, and I think it'll be, just spending these 2 weeks thinking about it has kind of put me a step in the right direction. So that's where I'm at. Now presenting your new best friend, Dan Collins.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, I would agree with what you're saying. I think people just get on out there and try to talk to people and try to follow up with it, I think. And then maybe your life will be enriched a little bit more. Or you can just buy a dog. I'm having a great time with Cheesecake. You did great. Next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
Speaking of baking in the oven, I also made pumpkin pie this weekend. Kind of, just so you know, I can bring that to the table for this competition.
Yeah, that really gets me
Yeah.
ready for it.